Hey everyone, Samantha here. In today's video, I'm going to be setting up my 2021 bullet journal. Now, this is my 4th year bullet journaling. I have all of my bullet journals here. This was my 2018-2019, this was my 2020, and this is the 2021 notebook. I'm super excited to set this one up today because I really feel like I understand what I need to set up in a bullet journal. I tested a lot of spreads out in my 2020 bullet journal because, what else was I gonna do with the year? So I really feel like I know what I need to set up for this year that will help keep me motivated throughout the year to keep journaling. And, just making sure that the spreads that I'm setting up in today's video, I'm going to be using throughout the rest of the year. I mean, that's really what you want when you're setting up a bullet journal, right? You wanna be able to use it, and you don't want it just to be like something that is so pretty that you just sit and never use it. You want to use it. I want to use it. So it really is helpful to set up a bullet journal, and I hope you enjoy some of the spreads that we set up today. Let me know in the comments below which of these upcoming spreads that you enjoy the most, and if you make some of them, I would love to see them. So go ahead and drop them in the comment section below too, or tag me on Instagram, Facebook, wherever. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so here we are at our work top desk area thing. All right, and we're gonna get started. So this is the notebook, like I said, link down below if you'd like to purchase it. It is a Lectrum 1917 notebook, and I love this notebook because, for one, it lays flat. Look at how flat that's laying, and it's dotted. So anyways, turning to the first page that we're going to set up today, which is the cover page for 2021. Now, I found this on Pinterest. It was a kind of splotchy type of cover page that I really, really liked. So I'm just freehanding different blobs, I guess you could say, on top of this cover page. Just kind of going throughout the colors that I'm going to be using for the remainder of this setup and throughout the year for my bullet journal, actually. And so I'm just kind of intermingling them with one another, and then I'm going to color them all in. Now, I really like this notebook, like I said, because it lays flat, it's super easy to work with, and the pages are just really nice. So there I was coloring in the 2021. Now erasing it. I do a lot of erasing, I realized while watching kind of this video, so sorry in advance, but also, you gotta erase some of the stuff that you do if you kind of set this up beforehand. Anyway, so now I'm coloring it in, and I really like the colors that I chose for this year. I spent some time kind of figuring out which ones I wanted to go with, and I feel like these colors just, they make me happy. They're good colors. I like them. So the Lectrum books in and of themselves, like I said, they lay flat. I'm using the dotted version. They have a pocket in the back. I first got these journals back at a Barnes & Noble's when I still lived in Texas. I live in England now with my husband, but I got it at a Barnes & Noble's. You can pretty much pick them up anywhere. I got this one in particular at a shop down in the city center a few days ago. But yeah, I got them because they look nice, they feel nice, lay flat. Overall, just really good journals. I feel like I spent hours whenever I first got my journal figuring out which one I wanted to get, and I got these because I knew they'd have lots of colors and lots of good stuff. So moving on, our next spread we're going to do is the yearly spread, and I realized that I don't put the actual name of the spread until at the very end. So yes, this is the yearly, and this is the most time consuming one, maybe the second most time consuming one, because I have another time consuming one in here. But to start, I'm just going through and marking out all of the lines that the days of the week are going to sit on, and then I'm going through and putting all the days of the week on those lines. Each day has its own little box. Very tedious. I'm using a Uniball 0.3 pen. I really like these pens. They dry really fast, really good on the paper, and yeah, they're just overall pretty solid pens. I use the 0.3 and I'll use the 0.8 here later on in the journal as well. They have all kinds of different sizes. 0.3 is just the one that I use the most. So next, I'm just going to write down all of the months, and then I'm going to choose a color for each of the months. So this is actually going to be a corresponding theme throughout the rest of the journal. More on that in a second. But yeah, so this is kind of just how this overall yearly turned out, and I quite like it. So the next is the monthly recap. and this monthly recap is kind of a new one for me, but it's not in the same way because I used to do these monthly recaps on my monthly spreads, just recapping each month on like the actual monthly spread, whereas this time I'm doing it all on one page so I can kind of look at a glance what happened each month. So this is what the boxes are. The boxes, each box is a month, and at the end of the month I'm going to write down what happened in that box for that month. As you can see, I kind of didn't put enough for some of the lower months, like I think December is what it is. It's really, really small down at the bottom. Anyways, now I'm going to just correspond each month to a color of the box. As you can see from the yearly, I'm just doing those all each with their own color. So yeah, that's our monthly recap. I love how that turned out. Cannot wait to use it. It'll be really cool. All right, so our next one that we're going to set up is our first 2-page spread. It's going to be our future log, and I like to keep this one kind of simple. I don't like to do it as 4-page because I don't need that much space when it comes to my future log. So I'm just dividing it up into 12 equal boxes across 2 pages and putting all the months, and then, again, color coding it. Super, super easy, super, super minimal. So here's just a little example of how I usually set up my future log. I'm not going to go through and set it up right now, but I usually just do the date and then whatever event I have going on. So super simple. All right, so the next one we're setting up is the to watch, read, and listen to pages, also known as recommendation pages. And so here I'm just marking out the different boxes for the different categories that I have. I have 4 categories. They're TV shows, podcasts, films, and books. And I really like this spread because I'm able to just kind of see what I watch throughout the year and also like write down anything that people recommend to me that I watch, read, or listen. And I can always have that as like inspiration if I don't know what to put on Netflix or, what to read at night. So I really like this spread. Super simple, little doodles, all good. Okay, so the next spread is very similar to the one that we just set up. Exact same, except this one is for my ideas. So these are the different ideas that I'll have throughout the year that I just want to jot down somewhere and come back to whenever I need some inspiration or if I'm feeling creative and want to do something. So this one's for all of my drawing, my podcasts, my crafts, all that good stuff. I'll write down my ideas and I'll usually do like a little square box, write down my idea, and then mark it off when it's actually done. All right, so the next page is my self-care page, and I did this one halfway through last year, and I wanted to add it at the beginning so I could easily flip to it and just remind myself, hey, these are the things that you need to do in order to take care of yourself. So here I'm setting up the header for this page, and I'm going to be using my calligraphy pen to write the top. I need to get better at calligraphy. Maybe that's one of my things that I should look into for 2021. Anyways, here are the things that I need to do myself in order to, take care of myself, to not feel like crap. I've been working from home for the past 5 years, so I know 2020, a lot of people have been working from home, but these are some of the things that I need to do and remind myself to do in order to, feel good. So once I have everything written down, I just do like a couple little doodles. So that's my self-care page. I tried some washi tape in the corner and then I was like, maybe some more. And then I tried like this little lattice thing, but then I wasn't really feeling it. So I moved on and was like, I'll figure out what to do with it here later. Anyways, moving on. Next page is the healthy living page or my health tracker page. I'm very anxious about my health. So having a page where I can just write down everything in relation to my health is a very good thing for me. I like to have a place where I can write down all of my doctor's visit, my dentist visits, eye cares, prescription, all that kind of stuff. So the way I like to set this up is I like to divide these different boxes into separate columns, and I do one with the date, the reason, and the result of the visit if I have to go to any of these places. So going back to the self-care page, I decided that I was going to cover up that washi tape with an enjoy everyday little scrapbook thing that I found. So I'm just going to glue that over top of the washi tape because, like I said, I wasn't really feeling the washi tape. I tried it, you know, not that bad, but didn't enjoy it. So this I will enjoy every day. I also found these hearts too, so I'm going to put the hearts on the page as well, just to add a little bit of fanciness to that page, because why not? That's our self-care and healthy life spreads. Okay, so moving on, our next spread is one that is dedicated to my husband. People call it the date night spread. I call it the all about Dom spread because it is a spread dedicated to my husband and all about the things that he enjoys and likes. So I'm creating two boxes here. The box at the top is going to be for date night, and this box right here is going to be, if this little doodle didn't give it away, for gift ideas for my husband. So I can kind of come here, jot down gift ideas throughout the year, because when it comes to Christmas, I always don't know what to get him. And then I have a little quote here as well that just says, "If I know what love is, it's because of you." And it's true. I do know what love is because he loves me so very much. And yeah, that is our Dom page. Like I said, this is where I can come in and mark down any gifts. So he needs a new keyboard. I might get it for his birthday. That's upcoming. Shh, quiet. And he also likes Tarkov, the video game, so I might get him some Tarkov stuff. So the next spread that we're going to do is the travel spread. And my travel spread is super simple. I'm going to be using this scrapbook paper just because I felt like being fancy, and glue it down on the notebook, reinforce it with a little bit of washi tape on the edge just because that edge was kind of being a little weird. So I decided to put some washi tape over it. Gonna give it some blobs because, you know, got to get our blobs in there for the theme. And to make it a little bit easier to write on, I'm actually going to put the lines on this paper myself. So I'm measuring every 1/2 centimeter out and doing lines every 1/2 centimeter. And then whenever I want to put a travel location, I'll just write it down on the line. Again, I'll use my square method. So I'll write like Northumbria. And then when we go there, I'll just scratch it off, you know, and then what we don't travel to, I'll just put in my next journal. So I left some space at the bottom of this spread because I don't know how much travel we're going to be doing in 2021. I want to do lots of travel because we couldn't this year. So I decided that I was going to use the bottom half of this spread to kind of just put some little scrapbooky things to be a little bit more fancy on this page. I have a little camera and a little quote that I'm just gluing into the book. And yeah, I like how this page turned out. Nice colors, nice vibe. All right, so the next spread we're going to set up is the budget breakdown spread. And this is kind of the start of the money tracking section of my bullet journal. This spread will help me categorize where I spend my money, and you'll see here shortly how that happens. It's very wordy, but we start off with just creating 2 columns.
Hey, Edward.
I love my kitty cat. He's the best. Anyway, so we started out with 2 columns here. And one column is going to be for the category and one's going to be for the definition. Now, like I said, this is very wordy, so why don't we skip ahead? All right, so now that I have everything written in, you can kind of see, like I said, it's very wordy, but we have every category for housing, transportation, food, utilities, insurance, medical, pets, savings, personal, rec, work, and miscellaneous. So you can pause the video and kind of read through all of these different things. I'm just highlighting and filling in the example boxes. But I use this numbering system in my monthly expense spreads. And so what I'll do is, whenever rent goes out, I'll write down the rent went out and I'll put the category as 1. So when I'm tallying up how much I spent in a month, I can just go through, look at all of the number 1s or number 9s or whatever, and tally up how much money that was overall in a given month. And this is kind of how I determine what category that spend goes into. So moving on with our money category, the next page we're setting up is our subscriptions page. I wanted this because we have so many subscription services that we're signed up to that it kind of gets confusing sometimes to be like, are we still signed up for this service? Yes? No? Let's check the book. This is one of my favorite spreads because I love how simple it looks just in terms of the lines. So as you can see here, I'm kind of dividing this big box into some different sections. So here I am. I made a little bit of a mistake there with the little number in the box instead of above the box. But I put the number, so the category that we just did on the last page goes in that first section, the description, when it's due, how much it is, and if it is auto taken out of our bank account, that's going to be a yes or no. And then I say, okay, which account is it taken out of? So that's kind of how I set up this page. And I actually do an example here for you in just a moment. I'm going to get rid of that little thing there because I don't like it. So white gel pen, it's great. So just as an example, here would be like Netflix. So Netflix is an entertainment service. So that goes under category number 10. It is due on the 24th monthly for £12. It's auto taken out of our J account. And I can just see all of that information on one place. So I'll go through and fill that out off camera, obviously. All right, so the next page I'm setting up is the car page or the transportation page. So I've set it up 3 different sections on this page here. I am doing one that is for car notes, which is what I'm erasing now. So with this graph, I have it as 1 through 12 on the left-hand side for each month. And then on the bottom portion of this graph, it's the cost of how much we spent on transportation that month. It looks simple, but it's not. Like, we don't spend like $5 every month or £5 every month on transportation. It's actually 50, 100, 150, 200, and so on. I just don't put the extra 0 because it looks cluttered. You'll see on the next page that I do it. I accidentally did that and it just looks so much more cluttered than this. But yeah, a way to set up graphs that I know, like 5 means 50 and 10 means 100. So something to think about whenever you're setting up graphs in your own bullet journal. Then I have a box for car insurance, just tracking how much it is from month to month. And then notes, like I said before, down below. And then a little car doodle. I liked my little car doodle that I did here. I don't know if it's from the front or from the back, but whichever floats your boat, it's a car. All right, so the next page we're setting up is Edward and Ellie's page. And this turned out to be one of my favorite pages just overall because of this doodle at the top here. It came out so much better, as you'll see at the end of this spread. So yes, I'm setting up a couple of different things on their page. One is their flea medicine. We have to give it to them every month at a certain day. So I just want to make sure that we say which date we gave it to them last, so we know which date to give them on the month. So that's what all those letters mean: January, February, March, etc., etc. So just like our health section, they have a little health section here where if we need to go to the vets for them at all, we can write it down here. We can see the different solutions that, the vet said, hey, give them this medicine to fix this thing, whatever. So they have their little health section. And then lastly, on their page, we have a monthly cost tracker for them. So we spend lots of money on them for toys, food, all that good stuff. So I just want to track that all in one page here. So just like the spread before, months 1 through 12 on the left-hand side, and then on the bottom of the graph, it is how much it is or how much we spent on them that month. So it'll be really cool to see at the end of the year just kind of how much overall we've spent on them, what months were more, what months were less, all that good jazz. And here's kind of where I set it up a little too ambitiously. I did every 5, so 25, 30, 35, 40, which maybe I probably shouldn't have. Maybe I could have just kept it to like 10s, but hey, that's no problem. All right, so moving on to our next spread, we're doing a savings spread. So my savings spread is super simple. I just want to track how much is in my savings account at the end of each month. So I'm going to create one box here on this page that is for 12 months and a section kind of in between. So I want to track how much is in my bank account, how much that's gone up or down by, and then any notes. So if there was like a significant increase or decrease that month, I'll kind of put it there in the notes. So for example, if I put a down payment on a car, which I hope to do soon, I'll put that in my notes because I pulled a lot of that money from my savings. Don't know what I'm going to do with the bottom section of this page yet. I might have a savings tracker. I might not. We'll kind of see. All right, so our next page is going to be our cost tracking page. And this is kind of similar to the graphs that you saw on the last couple spreads, except it's kind of reversed. So at the bottom, I'm going to have the different months now. I kind of messed up there, but that's all right. I'll go back and fix that later. See, it's really good sometimes to just mark out where you need those little things to go. Anyways, so here I am. I'm marking out all of the different months now because I messed up on that first one. So I mark out all the months 1 through 12. And then I'm going to put how much that is. So again, 5 equals 50, 10 equals 100, so on and so forth. What I'm doing for each graph is putting certain categories into the graph. So like the categories we had set up earlier, the housing, utilities, food, insurance, etc., they kind of go into each of these graphs. And what I do is I pull the information from the monthly spreads that I do, and I just transfer that over to here, but in graph form. Let me know if you're interested in seeing my monthly spreads. My monthly spreads don't change from month to month. I don't have many themes. I know what I like to have for the month. So I usually have an expense page like I've been talking about in this video. I have an expense page that holds a lot of information that gets put back onto these pages that I'm making here. So I think that will be kind of helpful for you to see what one of my months looks like. So I'll go ahead and do one video about one of my months just so you can see that. But yeah, it doesn't change from month to month, but the information on those months could be really helpful for you. So I'll make a video. So we're getting to the end of this setup. We only have one spread left to go, but it spans 4 pages. And this is the kind of income tracker. What I do for this spread is I spread it out over 4 pages, and it's quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3 and 4. I'm a freelance worker, so I need to track kind of where my money comes in from. Also, whether or not it came from US, so it needs to be converted into UK money, vice versa, all that good stuff. So here I am setting out the different sections. You can see we have the date, the work, the company, the amount, if it's converted or not, and if it's taxed or not, yes or no. If it's not taxed, I have to make sure that I put that money away so I can pay the tax later. I write down all of the months, separate it out, and then I decided to do each quarter as its own color. And the next page is exactly the same as the first page. It's quarter 3 and quarter 4. Doing a little bit of cleanup. And then as I was doing that, I realized I never did a quote for the beginning of my book. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quote now in the front cover because I usually do have a quote. I just totally forgot about it. So the quote that I have for this year is, "We cannot become what we want by remaining what we are," by Max Dupree. Who is Max Dupree? I don't know. I found this on Pinterest, if I'm being completely honest, and I just liked it. But I did think it was a really good quote for change, so I wanted to have this because I feel like 2021 could be a year of change for me. So here we are in our final flip through. I really love how this color scheme came out, and I'm super excited to use these different colors for the different months. Like I said, my monthly spreads are very simple. They are super easy to set up because now that I have the colors actually for each month, I can kind of just go through and set them up pretty quickly. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed how this setup turned out to be. If I were to do it again, I'm not sure if I would make the blob so big on some of the pages, just because they are kind of in your face. Overall, I can't wait to use all of these pages, especially that DOM page. My budget breakdown, that turned out pretty well. But overall, I do like how they came out and the colors that I use. I think the color scheme works really, really well. I'm excited to use it throughout the rest of the year. I realize I should probably put a header on the income tracker, but hey, c'est la vie. That is it. That is our 2021 bullet journal. It is done, but it is not done because it has just started. We have set up all of our pages. Please let me know in the comments below which one you enjoyed the most. And if you do use any of the spreads that I did in today's video, I would love to know. I would love to see them. Please let me know in the comments down below. Send me a picture on Instagram or wherever you can find me. If you want to see more content like this, let me know that too. Like I said, my monthly spreads don't change from month to month. Don't really do many themes, but I will do a video showing you how I set up one of my months, and if you like that, let me know. If you want to see more just like content that you think would be enjoyable, let me know that too. Thank you so much for watching. Do all of that YouTube stuff that I know you know how to do. Remember, the door is always open for imagination and creativity, and I will see you in the next video.